Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, hi, I'm RJ, also known as cakefacerj. As you've probably seen from the title, this video is a little bit different to my usual. Yeah, it's not makeup and it's not really it's not a very happy conversation, but it's kind of like a life update, a sort of life update on what's going on with me. I know obviously a lot of you who do follow me and have been watching my Instagram stories have been asking me what's going on, if I've been well. Obviously if you go on there now you're probably a bit confused because I do post and I have been posting some content, but I'll explain everything. But a lot of you guys do know that I do say on my stories quite a bit sometimes when I'm not posting that I'm not feeling well, etc. And a few of you have messaged me and asked me what's going on, how are you, is everything alright? And obviously a lot of you now have started asking that because it happens quite often, so I just thought it'd be good to come on here and explain everything in one video so it's all just kind of out there. It's not that serious, it's just obviously it affects my life and that affects my work life, so it does affect obviously when I put content out, how much content I can put out. So yeah, I'm just going to explain it all. So the first question that pops up all the time is what's wrong, and there are a few different problems, but the main thing is that I have fibromyalgia. If you don't know what that is, it's an autoimmune disease. It mimics conditions like arthritis, lupus, and a kind of a host of other problems as well. So it's all over body pain. Yeah, there's a lot of symptoms, but I can put a link in the description box to maybe like an NHS website so it explains everything, because there's a lot of different symptoms and it varies from person to person. It differs. For me, I get fatigued quite quickly, so very tired from not doing much. I have a lot of pain all over. I have pain every day. It's weird because you get used to it and you shouldn't have to, but it's just one of those things. So it's like pain from head to toe. Some days it's worse than others. Obviously for today, I'm not even feeling great today, but I'm feeling better than I have done in the last few weeks, so I'm going to try and get as much work done as I can today. But like, I am in pain right now, but you do get used to the pain, unfortunately. Obviously bad days you're not in a good way, but yeah, flare-ups. So sometimes you have like weeks where you're in a really bad way, and that tends to happen to me when I have not rested enough or if I've done too much and I've not paced myself. So unfortunately, I mean, it does tend to mean that does happen ever so often, because you just want to get on with stuff, you want to get on with your life, and you know that's how it is. So you do have down times and okay times, you know. I just want to clarify as well, this video is not for sympathy at all. It is literally just so I can explain to you guys what's going on with me and be real with you all, so you kind of understand what's going on and you don't feel alone if you are suffering with something similar or a health problem, because it can feel lonely if you think that everyone else around you or other people you look up to don't have problems, which majority of us have a lot of problems. So I think it's just important to share that. This all started when I was 10. I got very poorly. The doctors didn't know what was going on. They couldn't figure it out, so they just diagnosed it as a virus. And I couldn't walk for a couple of months, and it left my hips and knees very weak, and it kind of, the pains and stuff like that just kind of dwindled off and didn't really do anything until 2012. I think it was 2012 when it came back. Not as bad, but the pains came back, and since then it's not stopped. So I have, you know, just up and down times. So sometimes I'm actually okay, you know, still in a bit of pain, but I can actually get on with stuff. But I know that as soon as I've done too much, I'm gonna feel it. So you have to kind of work with it, and I'm not very good at that because I like to try and do as much as I can, and then I'll crash. So you can do like 2 days of heavy like whatever work or whatever it is, and then I'll crash for like 2 weeks. I'm going to show you guys my skin. I'm just going to come a little closer to the camera. You guys are always saying that you think my skin's perfect, which is very, very kind, but it's actually not. I like my skin, but if you can see these dark kind of like scarring here, and I don't know if you can see it on this camera, but you can see these little light circles here, these patches, and just general discoloration. Well, I don't know why, but every time I have a flare up with the fibromyalgia pains and everything like that, I get these like patches all over my face. And when I got ill when I was 10, it was really bad. It was the worst it actually got, because, and I can never explain them properly, but they're like flat patches that itch a tiny bit, but not lots. They mostly hurt, and then after a couple of days they'll fade and leave these light patches of skin. I have no explanation for that. The doctors don't understand it either. So I'm guessing that's something else underlying that I don't know about. But it does happen still. That's why here, obviously because I've not been well, here are the patches, as you can see. On my forehead it's light where the patch is left. Yeah, I don't know why. So that is obviously something else that gets to me quite a lot. In terms of what started it and brought it on, I do think that because when I was in primary school I got bullied quite badly, and I think that was the start of it, because I think that's what really caused the problem. The bullying was intense, and if you think primary school age is, how old is that? I mean, the eldest you can be in primary school is 11. So we were like 9, 10, 11-year-olds, and you wouldn't think they could be so vile, but they were. And yeah, I got bullied quite badly, and they just weren't very nice people. Yeah, I think the stress, because that was a very, very stressful time, and on a kid it is stressful, and it's upsetting to look back on. And I used to do dance classes, etc. I used to be really active, but as soon as I got ill, that kind of went out the window. I do still love dancing, I just can't do it as intense as I did it then. But I think it can be triggered by stress, and I was very stressed out. So that could have been a starting factor, because it did actually start in the middle of the time I was getting bullied, like amongst the time. Because it wasn't just verbal bullying, it was also physical. So, it does stress me out. I mean, even now, I'm 20 years old, and if I see anyone that bullied me, it freaks me out. Or if I just can't, I just don't deal with it very well. And I'm 20 now, so it does kind of stay with you. I've also had some other problems that are still being looked into, because it's not been solved or anything like that. So, basically we thought I had endometriosis. If you don't know what that is, link is in the bio. But basically we thought I had that because I suffer with very, very bad period pains. So it means that when my period comes, it's like, it's been for, I don't even know if maybe for the last couple of years, I'm pacing the room, I can't sleep. And in the last, I think I could say maybe a year to 10 months, it's got particularly bad. So I was actually in hospital a week before my period, because I had really bad pain before that. And we didn't know what was going on. So did they admit me that time? I think they did. And they were looking for those scanning to, they did CT scan and they did an MRI, and obviously they couldn't see anything. And that's what's been frustrating for me, is because every time there's been a test or a scan, it's always coming back inconclusive. And there's obviously quite a lot of different problems going on, so you just kind of feel a bit like you're going crazy. So yeah, basically I was in then for a scan, and the pain was so bad that they had to give me morphine. Just like the actual morphine you take, not intravenously through a needle. So they gave me that, and then they prescribed it to me. So I was prescribed I just only had like that one bottle of morphine, and I was taking that every time I had a period, because my periods were so bad. which is crazy because morphine is very strong, and I felt the effects of that because I was very, very sleepy. I was like completely out of it, and I was getting really, really bad headaches, like proper intense headaches, and apparently that's one of the side effects of morphine, which I'm not surprised because it is strong, but it was the only thing that was helping at that stage for the pain. It was like taking the edge off, and it wasn't even taking away all the pain. So you can imagine how bad the pain gets. After I'd finished that bottle of morphine, I went back to the doctors to get more because obviously I needed more for the next month. And she was obviously very concerned because it's strong. It's quite a strong dose. So she put me down on a bit of a lower dose of tramadol. And I was on that. I've been on that for probably a bit over a year. Every time I have a period, they're quite strong, make you feel a bit sick, and give you a really bad headache. But they get rid of the pain. They're slow releasing, so it gets rid of the pain really well. So they were working up until last month. I had a particularly bad period, and I was in pain for about 9 hours straight. And it just wouldn't let up. Took the tramadol, nothing was touching it. So we went into hospital. They gave me morphine intravenously, like through the needle, so it's even stronger, and that still didn't touch it. And they gave me codeine, that wasn't touching it, so just sent me home in the end. And then it was after that I have had the operation, because obviously they knew from my file that I was going to have the operation about a week and a half later, so they just thought, well, we're going to have the operation, so we'll find out what's going on then. So it also means in those times when I'm having a bad period, when it lasts, sometimes they last a week or more, so it means I'm completely out of action for that week and a little bit afterwards, because obviously I'm trying to recover from the medication and the feeling sore and just feeling horrible, and afterwards. So it means in that time I can't work either. So there's at least 2 weeks out of every month anyway that I'm not active because of the fact that I'm having a bad period. But because it was getting so bad, I was admitted to see a gynecologist to see if I did have endometriosis, because I was showing all of the symptoms of it. And they gave me a scan, but they couldn't see anything. But to be fair, it isn't, to find endometriosis, the only sure way of finding out if you have that is through a laparoscopy, which is surgery. And because it was just ongoing, and I tried the pill, and the pill I tried didn't work for me, and it seemed to make everything worse. So they scheduled to have me go under and have a laparoscopy. So if you are following me on Instagram, you would have seen that about 2 weeks ago I said that I was going in for surgery like a week later, and that I pre-filmed and pre-done some work while I was recovering. So that's the kind of content you've seen on my page. It's pre-done stuff, because I haven't been able to get back into work until now. I'm just kind of like slowly easing myself back into it. So they did the laparoscopy. They didn't find endometriosis. They did find that my uterus was enlarged, so we're going to look into that, because that could be a cause of why my periods are so bad. This is a lovely conversation. That could be the problem, but obviously, like I said, that's an ongoing thing that I'm still going to have to look into and get advice on, and maybe go private and get some healthcare advice. I don't know, but we're going to have to find out, because obviously it can't carry on like this, because it's not getting any better. So obviously I'm so pleased it's not endometriosis, but you kind of feel like you're back to square one with no answer, because I'm back to square one with, at least I know what could be the problem, but you still kind of feel like you're back all the way back to square one. And unfortunately, doctors aren't very they don't seem to care unless it's clear that there's this clear reason why something's going on, and when it has to be that they have to research it, they just can't be bothered. So you really have to push, and it's been so hard over the years. I mean, even with the fibromyalgia, I had to push, and my mum's had to push and push and push for them to set the appointments they should have done, and look into this and look into that. And you tend to kind of go to your GP or something with what you found on Google, which is the worst possible thing, really, because Google tells you that you're dying, and it just doesn't help anyone. But you do have to kind of keep pushing and pushing, and it's frustrating and it's tiring, especially when you feel the pain, you're in pain, and then this doctor's telling you that you're not. It's like, I am though. So it's been a hard time, but you learn to adjust, and it's not the worst possible thing that could happen to someone. There's much worse things going on in the world, and that kind of helps you just to kind of like not, you know, feel like woe is me, because it could be a lot worse. So yeah, that's really my situation. But obviously, because of that, it means that my work is affected in a large way, because the periods is one thing, and that's like at least a week and a half, 2 weeks of minimal action on the work front. But then obviously when I have a flare up or anything like that, that takes out however much time that takes for me to get over that. So it does affect my work, and it's sad because I wish it wouldn't, because I love what I do. I love my art, I love creating, and it's annoying because you want to do as much as you want to do what you can, because at the end of the day I love doing my art and I want to do it all the time, but unfortunately I can't. So that's when you guys see that I've posted that I'm not well, or that I'm, you know, off for a bit, taking a bit of a break. It's more than likely that I'm just in a really bad like way, and I'm just in pain and I can't do anything. So yeah, that is really what's going on. I feel like I laugh about it, or just kind of just say it, just kind of like just come out with it, because it's nothing I can change, and I think you either laugh or cry, and I'd rather laugh about it because it's just one of those. It's one of those awful, annoying situations. It's one of those annoying situations that don't feel like it's ever going to come to an end. It's just always something, something, something. But one thing I am going to try and do is change up my diet a little bit to just a bit more healthier, so that, because obviously your diet has a lot to do with how you feel and how your body reacts to different foods, etc. I'm going to just keep looking to see what's wrong, because obviously there's something else wrong, but I just don't know what. We've got some ideas, but obviously you can't really, you know, diagnose yourself with this and just run with it, because you need official diagnosis. So, but I really wanted to do this video because a lot of people view you on social media, if you have a large following, or if you're quite popular on social media, as fine, like your life is fine, there's nothing wrong. And I think there's that pressure on public figures, influencers, to kind of put on a front about how they feel. And you would be surprised actually the last few weeks how I have tried to do that by just kind of like throwing on a headscarf, or like throwing on a wig and talking on my stories like I'm okay when actually like I'm not. And it's kind of like, it doesn't really benefit anybody, because you guys then feel like, oh, they're perfect, their life is perfect, and feel like you have to live up to that, and that's not the normal. There's no one is perfect, no one has a perfect life, everyone has some problem, whether it's a health problem, a mental health problem, family problems. Everyone has something that they're having to deal with, and no one's life is perfect. So I feel like more people need to just be honest about how they're feeling, and just show who they are, because I think people would appreciate that more, and that's what I'm trying to do, because I feel like, well, the fact is I'm not well, and I can't obviously keep pretending that I'm just alright, and I keep getting a common cold every few weeks. And I also think that it's kind of like a pressure we put on ourselves, because we see other, you know, bigger public figures and celebrities looking perfect and fine, that there's that thing about a picture or a video for a few seconds, that because it's perfect and fine, everyone's like, oh, look up to you more, when actually that's not the case. People want to see someone real, and someone that's going through similar problems, and someone that you can actually relate to, because I found that you have to actually sometimes have to pull away from people who you don't feel are really benefiting you from the point of view that are being real, because you can't relate to that. So that's why I just thought I'd kind of like come on here and really explain what's going on, because obviously it's not going to go away, it's an ongoing problem, and at least you guys will know exactly what's going on in my life in terms of why I'll be absent for a while, and stuff like that, because obviously it does affect my work, unfortunately. I wish it didn't, but it does. I am posting now more regularly, and today I'm going to be creating some more looks, and hopefully I'll be okay this week. Obviously I'm still getting over the surgery, so I am in a bit of pain still, but hopefully I'll be over that soon. It's just obviously it's icky. And unfortunately with fibromyalgia, everything is 10 times worse pain-wise, so it's like I'm highly sensitive to pain. So someone could prod me and it would hurt my arm. It would like hurt that area of my arm for like the whole day, which sounds ridiculous, but it actually does. So when it comes to this operation that I've just had, for example, the amount of recovery time for a normal person is a lot shorter than it would be for me, because of the fact that because I've had that done, the pain will be a lot more intense than it should be. So at the moment I'm going through a lot more pain than I should be, which is, I think these things you just have to kind of like live with and keep going. But the main thing is that you guys have been super supportive, and I've been meaning to do this video for a while. I wanted to do it before the operation, so you guys would know what's going on. I bet you're thinking, why didn't she come out with this earlier? But it was a bit difficult because I was like, yeah, I'm going to do it before the op. And then I was ill before the op, which meant I couldn't pre-film as much content as I wanted to anyway. And then, yeah, it's just, everything's just, it just was really weird. It just kind of, yeah, I don't know. I'm no healthcare professional, so if you feel like you have something similar to what I've said or anything like that, don't go for what I've said, go to your doctor. Obviously, I'm quite nervous about posting this because it's an insight into my life that only my friends and family know about, so sharing it on the internet, yeah, it's you know, not the most, it's one of the more nerve-wracking things. So that is it for this video. Yeah, it's been good to talk about it because obviously I've been wanting to talk about it for a while, but I didn't know how to start, and obviously I'm not kind of like the person that puts their whole life on the internet, so it is a bit nerve-wracking. But thank you for watching and for listening. I hope that if you have any problems or anything similar, or you're going through anything and you're not sure what's going on, talk to your family and try and push. If you do have a good doctor, then go to a doctor, and if you don't have a good doctor, still go to your doctor and just keep pushing for an answer, because at the moment I'm doing the same. And I'll keep you updated on my health and everything like that, but at least you guys know now what is going on with me, and when I'm away for a little bit you won't all follow me, I hope. Also, please share this video with a friend or on your Instagram if you know of anyone or think anyone would need this, because obviously I think it is just important to talk about being real and talking to your followers, and you know, being an influencer for the right reasons, and actually being honest and open about what's going on in your life and not making out it's perfect when it's not. But yeah, and also it helps me because now you guys know what's going on and I don't have to talk about it anymore. But thank you for watching this video. Like and subscribe, comment and let me know anything, any questions you have. I'm up for answering lots of questions, so put your questions down in the comments and I'll get to them as soon as I can. Subscribe, did I say that already? Probably. And I'll see you in my next video. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.